It's the unboxing at the Henson Company.
I'm Joe.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Dave.
That doesn't rhyme.
We have Karen, Falk, so we can't go wrong.
The Jim Henson Company with ToughPigs.com.
Unboxing!
Hey everybody, we're from Muppet fan site ToughPigs.com. We are here at the Jim Henson Company offices. The Henson Archives have set up some boxes. We don't know what's inside. Could be anything. We're going to open them up, we're going to find out, and hopefully see some cool Henson relics. So let's check out what's in those boxes.
Hi.
Hi.
Look what I have here.
That's a big box.
It is a big box.
Is it pizza?
Well, you can
It'd be
see
a
what
pretty
it
big
is
pizza.
right there. What does it say, Joe?
Pizza.
It says Dark Crystal Art number 2, original sketches, photocopied sketches, blueprints.
Okay, can we open it?
Yeah, let's open it.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. That's...
So this looks like the actual dark crystal.
It's so flat, the real Dark Crystal. Wow.
Is,
well, we
is
can-
this like
we
the concept of it, or...?
Yeah, this is a concept like for the movie when they were doing the set designs, prop designs, and things like that. So this would have been sort of the design for that.
And these were all painted by Brian Froud?
Some of this work, I don't believe this is by Brian Froud, but you can see these little details here, which are just sort of design ideas. Those would have been by Brian Froud. And actually, there's a little sort of dagger here that was on the first sort of prospectus. That was a little sketch that they put on the outside of the prospectus.
So were these just nuances that were...
These look kind of like the things that fly up
the
in the
trees.
forest. And
The crystal bats.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well,
Good work, you guys.
there,
Of course, the crystal bats. That's exactly what they are.
there's literally hundreds of drawings by Brian. He was always trying out these little designs.
So they had more concepts than they even could use in the
Right.
movie.
Well,
so
they
this is really-
built the world first before the story, so I'd imagine there's just tons of imagery about what's just going to exist anywhere within
Right,
the film.
absolutely. For props, for sets, for trees, for just decorative elements on the sculpture. But these are just really here.
I just want to point out like how interesting it is. Like he's such a great artist that even his handwriting, like what he's
Yeah.
doing, like he took the time to make the font look really cool and the little squigglies on. Oh, it actually says squiggly here. The squigglies on the G.
A squiggly bit of not much import.
Right. So these are again just this looks like a belt even. So every
Wow.
detail was considered when they
And
they
these are all
designed.
just pencil sketches.
Yeah.
And it's good that he wrote down what he thought that they would be, belts and weapons and things, because I think anyone else looking at this would just be like, oh, it's just like a mishmash of
But yeah, none
something.
of it looks like it's from this world that we live in. It's
Right.
all from the world that comes out
So
of
this you
his
probably
head.
recognize.
The Skeksis chamber.
These are actually mystics.
Oh.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's
Oh, I
what it
see.
is.
That's
But
the-
you can see it's an idea for how they would lay out in
And
the
this
room.
is what he's drawing with sand in
Right.
the beginning, I'm going to take a guess.
Right. Sort of odd. That's his X-ray Skeksis. But this
Oh,
I
they're so
love.
scrawny.
You see, that's
That
Wow,
is
yeah.
a dehydrated
Yeah, I always
hand
kind of
right there.
forget until that one scene when you see the Chamberlain
The
when he's
neighbor.
been stripped and he's just like a skeleton.
Yeah.
right.
He's very thin and just misshapen.
And
Yes.
sort of,
they-
these are just some little.
Oh, and I love they're on
Hands.
the Henson letterhead too. The
Yeah,
ha-ha
yeah, the
letterhead.
little stationery there.
Yeah.
And but there was a lot of consideration into the how they looked under their costumes.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, those are
These are very
Gelfling.
early Gelflings.
Ooh.
Because, and being on this stationery with the New York address, Brian came to New York at the beginning of 1978 when they first started the process. And he started developing the world in New York with Jim and with Wendy. And then the whole thing moved over to London in '79. So this would have been very, very early in the process.
It's
when he
easy
was
to
in New
forget
York.
that they were already deep into this while the Muppet Show was happening.
Oh yeah.
Well, and this was really, going to be the first movie before the
Right.
Muppet movie.
Right.
Even this was going to be Jim's first film, and
It's also interesting to me that the fact that it's on the Henson stationery tells me like they probably just had a meeting where they were just sitting around and like he didn't have his sketch paper, didn't
Yeah.
have his pad, and just like let's just do this right now. Like
Right.
how casual that must have been.
Did they know right from the onset that they wanted a character that was more human in
yes,
appearance?
that was in Jim's original sort of concept. Had a lead character that was sort of a humanoid type character.
This seems a little more detailed than the little monsters he would draw on
Yes.
the sides of his notes.
Yeah,
and
well,
stuff
this would
like
have been
Oh, wow.
Harry Lang, for example.
Wow.
Who was the
So
That's the bed.
The Emperor's bed,
that.
yeah.
The Emperor dies in.
But
Thus,
they had to
causing
build it.
nightmares for millions of children.
I always like that he had bumpers so he can't roll out of bed too.
Yeah. Well, that's luxury.
Like a
When you're-
toddler.
He's old, he's frail, he might have night terrors, I don't know about
And when you're the
girlfriends.
emperor, you can afford that.
It's just I'm floored at the detail that like they obviously weren't even thinking about like how it would be built. They were just like, it'd be cool like an orb and curtains and like something
orbs.
dangly from the thing. And I don't know, what is that? That's just, is that a symbol or
I
is
think
it
it's just
something
some
that's
kind
supposed to
of
be hovering?
artwork
Or
design.
sure, like put that back there. Why the
Yeah,
heck
why
not?
not?
Well, there was such a richness to the visuals in this film, and that was really, really important to Jim.
And there seems like even though it's otherworldly, there definitely seems to be a very consistent design element to it all.
But
It's also cool that like nothing that seems random for random's sake. It seems like this is something that actually belongs to a world. There's a purpose to the design. There's a purpose to like the little flourishes on each piece and each piece of scenery.
Right, like I said, it's very consistent
Yeah.
all throughout, from the bed to the hall. There's a very definitive look to the entire world, and each race has its own culture therein as well, which is insane.
I think you find that, obviously the Muppets are very much in our world, and so
Right.
their world mimics ours. But, with Fraggle Rock, certainly there was a lot of thought that went into their world and what it looked like. And, all those rocks on the set, we have blueprints for those rocks.
Wow.
Because they had to be designed, and that was sort of a modular system. But it was very much the same thing where Jim was really creating a world, and that was the goal with this film.
He liked caves. I remember when I was a kid seeing Fraggle Rock, thinking, I wonder if any of those lead to the Dark Crystal Castle.
Oh.
Well,
You cannot leave the
know.
magic, even if you go to the Dark Crystal World, even if you go to
That's
Thra.
right. Okay, well, why don't we put these away? I'll put it away.
Thanks, Karen.
Yep.
Wow, we saw some awesome stuff. Like,
Very
how
cool.
cool is that?
Building a whole world from the ground up, and that's literally the blueprints.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So thanks everyone for watching.
Don't forget to check out darkcrystal.com for a lot of more really cool Dark Crystal stuff. And check us out at toughpigs.com.
Unboxing!